It's not so much about finding inspiration as it is about writing as a necessity for me. I can't really go a day without writing something creative or something academic, especially creative though, because it's more like a need. So inspiration is everywhere, but it's not really a problem trying to find it. You don't really have to look for it, or at least I don't have to.
What is your spirit animal and why?
Spirit animal? I never really understood that.
Let me rephrase it. What animal do you feel best represents you and why?
I like birds. I like studying birds in my free time, my spare time. I research birds a lot, which is kind of weird. But I think birds are awesome. I think human beings could learn a lot from birds. And
Any birds in particular?
I like chickadees. Dion St. Ives actually gave me a stuffed chickadee that makes the chickadee sound. And I think I would be a chickadee. Yeah.
That's awesome. At what age did you discover your passion for writing?
Oh boy. Probably as soon as I learned the alphabet and could write. I think in 3rd grade I wrote my first story, and my teacher at the time, Mr. Lent, he had it laminated and put in the elementary school library, and he had me draw like a picture for the cover, and it's probably still there. So I've always been writing. I've always been that weird kid inside her head.
If you had one superpower, what would it be?
One superpower. Oh boy.
I know it's a very intense question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love birds, so flying would be pretty cool, but that's so predictable. So, I don't know. Being invisible for like a day would be cool, because I could be like really mischievous and kind of like, I don't know, screw around with people, but that's not a good answer for this interview.
No, it's an awesome answer because that eyebrow twitching is just awesome. I could mess with people. It would be awesome.
But, I mean, I wouldn't want to like permanently be invisible, because writers pretty much already kind of feel invisible. You know, like F. Scott Fitzgerald. We're always the outsiders at the party looking in, so
Yo,
I don't want to be
our best
invisible.
friend.
I don't know what my
Anonymity
superpower
is our
would be.
best friend.
No superpowers. I think I'll just stick to being human, being me.
If you could have dinner and or cocktails with any writer or artist, current or from history, who would they be? What would you drink and why?
Let's see. Dinner and or cocktails?
Mm-hmm.
How about wine?
Hey, it's an alcoholic beverage. That's what
Okay.
counts.
Who would I want to drink wine with? Oh boy.
And it doesn't have to be a writer, so you don't have to feel limited. It can be anyone throughout history, from now till, whenever.
Wow. That's a really big question.
Oh God, yes, I know. It takes up like 4 sentences.
I don't know. Maybe E.E. Cummings. Yeah. Oh yeah, Nigeria's over here. Yeah, I really love E. Cummings, so
Why would you have wine with
I'd
him?
wanna ask him about, like what's his deal with parentheses? Like does he just love parentheses? Like what's his deal?
I got you.
Because I don't know, I'm just fascinated. I feel like I'm always learning something. I feel like whenever I'm like in a stale place of writing, I can always go to E. Cummings and get inspired, even though I just said that I don't really look for inspiration, but I guess when I feel the need to look for inspiration, that's where I look for it.
Ooh. You could have far worse role models. God. How do you feel about ebooks versus print books?
I have never read an ebook. I don't have a Kindle or... Oh wow, I'm blanking on what are the other names for those things. What's another name? Kindle.
Tablets,
Tablet, yeah.
Nooks, iPads.
Yeah, Nook. I have nothing against them, but I don't know. I just like paper. I like the way it smells. I like John Green. There's like a video of him just like smelling a book, and he's like, it just smells so good. And I guess that describes me, because I'm a nerd, and I'll just always come back to the published written word. And yeah, I like it old school. I like everything old school. I like burning CDs, and I like writing on paper, and yeah, I like kicking it old school.
That's awesome.
Okay. I like kicking it old school.
That's awesome. That's going to be like on the
That's
title
it.
page. That's going to be the name of the interview, Kicking It Old
That's
School.
what I thought, yeah.
What songs define your work ethic?
What songs define my work ethic?
The Eye of the Tiger.
Wow.
I was thinking something by Justin Bieber, but
It's like the laid back and
yo,
beachy.
No songs are really popping into my head right now, although music is like one of the biggest parts of my life, and
is there a specific song that you listen to when you're writing more so than others?
no, I mean, I'll listen to everything from classic rock to indie music to Childish Gambino. So I mean, everything's fair game, but there's no one song that comes to mind. Just music as a whole just ties into writing, and it's really important. But I couldn't place one song above all the rest. I feel like that would be really unfair.
I got you. Each one has its own.
Yeah, that would be like placing one poem above all the rest in my life. And
I can appreciate that. If you had the chance to solve world hunger or have an endless supply of candy, what kind of candy would you get?
what? What kind of question is that?
I have no idea.
That's not even really a question. So basically, the question is just if I could have.
What kind of candy would you have if you could have an endless supply of candy?
This is really bad too. I'm kind of addicted to candy.
You're in college, it's fine.
It's like my guilty thing though. No, I like hoard candy, like underneath like my pillow and stuff, and it's bad.
So you're normal.
It's
fine.
It's kind of weird though. Like I'll eat so many like Sour Patch that I'll get like canker sores and stuff. Like I'll just eat Sour Patch.
So is that the candy you would
So
get?
I'd
is
probably
Sour
have to
Patch?
go with Sour Patch. Yeah, Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids?
I'm slightly addicted.
Slightly? If
Yeah.
you're getting sores in your mouth, that's beyond it. That's not slightly addicted, honey.
You know, like when you finish the bag of Sour Patch Kids, and
Uh-huh.
then there's all the sour stuff. at the
Yeah.
bottom? Yeah, all the sugary sour stuff. Yeah.
Yo, she's a complete junkie. You might want to get her into Sugar Patch
Hey,
Kids.
there are
rehab.
worse things that you can be addicted to than
Oh,
Sour
God.
Patch Kids.
I know, I'm addicted to just sugar in general.
Yeah.
Anything sweet, God.
I mean, I don't drink coffee. I don't really drink alcohol. So Sour Patch Kids, that's my vice.
Yo. What is your least favorite word?
Oh, my least favorite word. lot of people have those.
Yeah. What word that when
Those-
you hear it, it's like nails in a chalkboard for you. You just cannot stand to hear it.
Nothing's coming to mind.
Nothing? You love all words? All words are
I-
equal?
No, I mean I'm sure there's something, but don't know.
What motivates you as a writer? That's my question.
The desire to be heard. I guess I used to be a really, really quiet person. I guess pretty much no one that I know in college would believe that if they knew what I was like in high school. They would be really shocked. But I used to be a really shy, quiet person. I never shared my opinions in class. I never talked in class, let alone got sassy. And now that's all I do. But now I write because I think that I have a lot to say. And it seems that other people actually agree and they like hearing what I have to say. And that constantly surprises me and thrills me because I feel like maybe I can speak not only on behalf of myself, but maybe on behalf of someone else, and maybe even on behalf of my generation, as audacious as that might sound. And that's motivation. Just communication. Writing is a form of communication, and that's a big deal.
And unicorn or narwhal?
Wow. Who came up with that question?
That was actually our leader, Kate Moses. That was the first thing that came off the top of her head.
Unicorn.
Unicorn?
Yeah.
How many times a day do you destroy your work and start over?
Not very often, actually. It's more tweaking. Yeah, it's more saying, oh, I don't really like that part, and then I'll cross that off and say, oh, I kind of like that phrase, but I don't really like that whole paragraph. But rarely do I ever say, oh, to hell with it all. But that has happened before. But that's usually more with my academic writing than my creative writing. But some days it happens. But I don't know. You do what you gotta do.
If you had to pick one writer and or artist whose work resembles yours the most, or who you emulate the most, who would it be?
This is a really personal question, and a really personal answer. My friend Kelsey, she is a photographer, and her work is actually featured in my Anne Frank project.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known her for about 8 years, and I've always felt that her photography really pairs well with my writing, and that we are cut from the same cloth, or we are soulmates, or however you want to describe it. And I just think it's incredible because she lives in Florida and we have never actually met one another. We have just been pen pals for the past 8 years, and we have sent each other packages and everything. But she is an artist and I am an artist, but I am an artist with words. I'm crafter of words and language, and her craft is photos and pictures and images, and I think that that's really interesting because I never used to really give credit that much to images because I've been studying English and literature, so I never gave that much credit until I found her and I found her work, and she really studies that, and she studies human beings and she portrays them through her photography and her art, and I think it's amazing, and I think she's the best.
That's
And
awesome.
I think I learn something new from her every day.
8 years of pen pals and you've never actually met?
I have never actually met her.
Do you know
no.
what she looks like?
Yes, I know. Yeah, we share photos and
Yo,
everything.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we send each other like CDs and
That's
all
actually
sorts
really
of stuff.
adorable.
Yeah.
I've never met you, but your work is awesome.
Yeah, the Anne Frank video that I made, almost all of the photography is her personal photography.
Yo,
And there's
that's
actually two of the photos. One is her hand, and it's her hand that she photographed holding a piece of lavender with a purple ribbon, and it's a piece of lavender from my mother's garden that I sent her and with a letter.
Yo, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a really personal, intimate relationship and friendship that we've developed over 8 years. But
Yo, that's awesome.
yeah, so artists can develop really close relationships even if they've never met. So
Yo, that's awesome.